This is the Rod Langway Fan Club.
Welcome, everybody, to the Rod Langway Fan Club podcast. I am your host, Jeff Roman. The NHL has reached its halfway point, which means it's time for the Midseason Moustache Awards. I'm joined by a couple of co-hosts, Mr. Mark Czeknita.
It's a new year, but the same old Mark.
And John Snowden.
I love the mid-season. It's much like middle age, which I've come to embrace.
It's so nice to be back with you guys. What do we have on tap for today?
Well, the mid-season is here. That means we have to stick with our tradition and hand out the mid-season mustaches.
That's right. But first, we need to make some sense of these muddled standings. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Wow, is it tight? Parity has arrived.
We will begin with who is the cream of the crop.
Yeah, we're going to do a little segment here we like to call
High Five. After great consideration, we've each come up with a list of our top 5 contenders for the Stanley Cup. I personally spent 6 days in complete isolation, subsisting on water and crackers.
Well, let's get the ball rolling here. The easiest choice is the Colorado Avalanche. Do you guys agree?
I mean, absolutely. It's, like you said, easy choice. This team has not lost at home yet, plus 83 goal differential. It's insane. I mean, the talent is undeniable. And we know this is a team that can get it done. They have won a Stanley Cup. So, yeah, they got to be in that list.
And this team is going to be challenging for the record for best regular season.
Yeah, now, of course, they still have half the season to go and the Olympic break, which could change things. But I think they're a shoo-in for the division title, and they have to be considered the favorite for the Cup at this point.
Is this team peaking too early?
I mean, that's always a question. We can't really answer that. They did flame out in the playoffs last year pretty hard, got Mikko Rantanen in the first round. So, you know, these things aren't unheard of, but, you know, this group is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, it's incredible to look at the plus minus. The Avalanche players dominated. It's just incredible how well they've been playing.
Yeah, so much talent at the top of the lineup, but I think they've done a pretty nice job filling out the bottom of the roster, which was a concern, I think, in previous seasons. And you got to love the goaltending depth as well with the double wood action back there.
Yeah, and Brock Nelson has really fit in well there.
Absolutely. And I mean, Marty Necas, he's been having a great season himself.
He sure has.
The scary thing is you got to know they're going to add at least one more key veteran going into that playoff run. And I would not want to face this team in the playoffs.
All right, next on my list, I have the Dallas Stars. Did they make your list?
Yeah, they did make my list. I think this team is excellent on paper. You know, very few pieces missing, especially with a full season of Mikko Rantanen. I think this is a very dangerous team.
He's been good.
Yeah, he's been really good. I do have one question, and that is Jake Ottinger. Is he really that elite goaltender? I mean, apart from that one really good run he had, I felt like he's been a little underwhelming and hasn't performed at that elite level. So I have a few questions there if he can really put them over the hump.
And Mark, your thoughts on Dallas?
Yeah, you know, this is a team that I've been high on for the last couple of seasons. And, you know, I was still a little bit shocked from what happened last year when the Oilers beat them pretty easily, I felt. And I'm just getting this bad vibe about the team again, that they might become this, you know, kind of a Carolina Hurricanes type of team where there's just so much talent up and down the roster, but they just don't have that intangible to get them over the hump. So I'm going to leave them outside of the top 5 for now. There are a lot of other good teams out there as well.
Okay. Well, then who else do you have on your list then?
Well, I'm going to stay in the division. And I think that the Minnesota Wild, with the acquisition of Quinn Hughes, they're in the conversation now. And you got to figure that it's going to be Dallas, Minnesota in the first round. And I think that it might come down to goaltending. I like the goaltending in Minnesota a lot more. Not just Gustafsson, but the emergence of the young Jesper Wallstedt has really solidified the crease for Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying their goaltending is excellent, and adding Hughes, that is sick. I will not have Minnesota on my list, however. I just don't like their center depth. If they don't address that, center is such an important position in the playoffs, and they're pretty thin down the middle.
No, that's a fair point. I think that's something they will address. I think they're going to spend big. You're going to bring in a guy like maybe a Kadri or an O'Reilly or maybe someone we're not even thinking about right now.
Yeah, Billy Guerin really swung for the fences. What a trade. We haven't talked since that trade went down. But what'd you guys think of that?
Risky move because he did not get the contract extension. We all know that he does have a desire to play with his brothers, but at the same time, it kind of reminds me of what the Raptors did in basketball years ago when they went out and got Kawhi Leonard. So I'm not saying Minnesota gets that championship, but it is a bold play and got to respect it.
Yeah, I thought it was very fun. I think he's great with Kaprizov there. I like the move. It's like Mark said, it's risky. No guarantee it will pay off, but man, it's fun to watch him there. And they needed to shake something up a little bit.
They did need a shake-up. Now, I did leave Minnesota off my list for
fair.
now. I just worry about their depth scoring, but it is so nice to see some excitement back in Minnesota.
Yeah, one of the great hockey states.
And John, who do you have on your list there?
Well, in the preseason show, I selected the Vegas Golden Knights to win the Stanley Cup. So it would be a little silly if I didn't have them on my list. I love this team. They have a great mix of talent and grit. I like their decor. I think that they have all the hallmarks of a Stanley Cup contender. However, I did mention in the preseason show as well that they do have to address the goaltending. I don't think they have that elite netminder. They got Carter Hart basically for nothing, but I'm not sure he's the answer. So that is still a bit of an outstanding issue for me.
Yeah, Mark, what are your thoughts on Vegas's goaltending?
Yeah, a lot of question marks. Carter Hart is now week to week. Aiden Hill, who's been out since October, sounds like he's nearing a return. Nothing is imminent. So for now, it's going to be Akira Schmid, who is probably more of a backup. But you know what? Goalies are weird. They've got 3 of them. If one of them emerges and plays halfway decent, the rest of the team's pretty strong. They're not on my list, but I don't think it's a crazy pick either.
Nor are they on my list. I just have too many concerns about their goaltending in Vegas, but I do love that 3-headed monster of Jack Eichel, Mitch Marner, and Mark Stone.
Yeah, it's
Deadly
great.
offense.
Yeah, don't forget about Hurdle. He's awesome too.
Yeah,
Tomas Hurdle. He's a great player to have in there.
And you know they're not shy to splash the pot, throw on assets, and add another big name at the deadline too. So watch out for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But who you got above them then, Jeff?
well, for me, guys, I have the Edmonton Oilers. We were very concerned about them in our first quarter show. Wow, have they ever turned it around as we thought they would?
Yeah, nobody's surprised. When you have a Connor McDavid and a Leon Draisaitl, the rest of the pieces just kind of fall in place, and they've been better. It's still a pretty soft division, and they're not a perfect team, but you know what? There is no perfect team in that division, so I think they're still head and shoulders the best team, and they're going to be all in with Connor McDavid's contract coming up in a couple of years. They will also add another big piece.
So they're on your list?
They're my Stanley Cup picks, so I got to stick with them.
Yes.
Again, they're not a complete team. They haven't been, and they've gone to the finals twice, though, so they got to be in the top 5 for me.
What a run McDavid's been on. Wow, it's just a joy to watch that guy play hockey.
Absolutely. It is ridiculous. I mean, the speed, the talent, and Draisaitl as well. I mean, the two of them together. It is a joy to watch. However, they are not on my list this year.
You left him off, eh?
I did leave them off for many of the same reasons. A lot of concerns with their depth. I don't think they're a perfect team, and I do think they have to make a few moves. However, I don't think they have the wiggle room with the cap. They don't have the assets to trade away, and I think it's going to be a pretty competitive trade market going into the playoffs this year. So I just don't think they're going to add enough to put them over the hump.
And they are another team that made a big trade.
Yeah, I don't know about big. I would say medium, bringing in Tristan Jarry. I mean, this is a guy who has had all-star caliber years in the past, but he's also been on waivers recently as last season, in fact.
Yeah.
I think he's a slight upgrade on Stuart Skinner, but he's also an older, more injury-prone version of him as well. So I'm not sure he's the answer in net. Maybe Connor Ingram becomes the answer in net. They're going to have to figure out something, though.
Yeah, I do still have some concerns about their defense, bit of a patchwork back there, and their contributions from their depth scorers.
Yeah, sure.
But hey, they've been to back-to-back finals, and you can definitely not count out Connor McDavid and the boys.
Okay, guys, I know this one might seem a little weird considering they're not even in a playoff spot, but they are the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. I think the Florida Panthers are still a top 5 cup contender.
Wow, I also have them on my list. I wasn't sure if you were going to put them on yours.
Yeah, I kind of figured you guys might not, so I had to.
Yeah?
Well, I got them on my list as well.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, all the injuries they've been facing, they still haven't been playing that badly. They got Tkachuk coming back, and Barkov is skating. If he's ready to go, I think they have as good a chance as any other team, really.
Such a well-coached team.
Yeah.
Great structure. They can just plug guys in. Like, I watched a game the other day that they lost, but they were right in that game, and they just play such a hard, gritty style that's perfect for playoff hockey.
Absolutely. And the East is so wide open. I look at some of these teams and I don't really see a team I think could go toe-to-toe with them in a playoff series. So for me, they got to be on that list. They're such a juggernaut in the playoffs. They're so tough to play against. So yeah, they're on my list.
I love Brad Marchand. He's having an incredible season.
I don't love him, but I respect him greatly.
And the final team on my high five list is their cross-state rival, the Tampa Bay Lightning. What an excellent first half this team has had.
Yeah, and think about all the injuries they've had to contend with. Victor Hedman has missed a huge chunk of time, as has arguably their second most important defenseman, Ryan McDonough. And somehow with that patchwork decor, they're still getting it done.
How about Radish?
Yeah, wow, he's putting up huge points running that power play. And also, it's the goaltending. Andrei Vasilevsky makes those mistakes go away with great saves. He always brings his best in the playoffs, so I think that's going to be a tough combo.
It sure helps when you have Nikita Kucherov, who's all world.
Yeah, it sure does. And I mean, they've been playing so well without Braden Point really contributing much up to this point in the season. I mean, he started to come on a little bit, but he was pretty terrible out of the gate and then was hurt. So, I mean, if he can come on, this team is looking very, very, very good. However, they're not on my list.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Who do you have? Who else do you have?
Well, I do love T-Bay. I think it's Carolina's year to really take a step forward, though.
Really?
Yeah, they've made it to the conference final 3 years in a row now. And I do think that they have the staff to get it done and move into that contender status. Adding Nick Ehlers, I think, is a big contribution. And I just think they're ready. Rod is ready to lead them.
I don't know, John, because you just told us that you don't really believe in the Minnesota Wild because of their issues at center. Is this not the very same issue facing the Carolina Hurricanes?
Yeah, I mean, I even mentioned this in one of our previous shows this season. And yeah, I agree with that, but I do think they're probably going to address that. I think they're going to add a center depth piece. It's not as bad as Minnesota. I mean, Aho is the real deal number one center, I think. But I think if they added a good number two, watch out.
Yeah, and young Logan Stankoven has played well in that role.
I think he's kind of struggled in that role if you look at his numbers, actually. The other issue that we haven't addressed is their goaltending.
Whoa.
Kochevkov could be out for the season. It looks like he is done for the year. Freddie Anderson looks like he has just lost a step or two. So is it all going to come down to the rookie goaltender, Brandon Bussey? I just don't see that being a winning formula.
He's driving the bus. He's looked good so far.
He's looking pretty good so far.
I don't know. I just don't think that's going to work for them unless they go out and find a goalie. But what's out there on the trade market?
Yeah, it's a tough one. But, there has been a history of young goalies succeeding in Carolina.
Oh, yes, Cam Ward.
Yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they can get it done, because if not, I think Rod the Bot is in trouble.
And that rounds out our high five list. If you disagree, don't be shy. Get in there. Call us out. Suggest other teams. We always like a good debate.
Moving along. It's that time of year again, boys. The Midseason Moustache Awards.
Yeah, I love this time of year. It's very fun. This is where we hand out our awards in the form of a mustache to our top performers in the mid-season.
Of course, to honor the great Rod Langway, who rocked a fantastic stash.
Yes, and one of our awards actually is one the NHL should consider picking up for the best defensive defenseman. Don't you guys think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, people have been talking about this for years. I think we started the conversation. We did.
And play a big role.
I hope we get lots of credit when it happens.
But where do we usually begin here?
Well, where everyone must begin. With the peach fuzz. You know, that first mustache that you try in junior high school and you just realize you don't quite have it yet. Well, a lot of these rookies, they have it.
They sure do. What an exciting crop of rookie players.
Yes, it really is this year. And we have a little bit of everything. Where do we want to begin here? Can I start it off?
Sure.
Okay. I like Ivan Demidov for the Montreal Canadiens. He's an excellent forward. Looks like he's going to be an elite offensive talent. Great rookie.
What a puck distributor he is.
Yeah, it's amazing the deception. He can be looking at the goalie and making a beautiful cross-ice pass, the edge work. Actually, I'm pretty surprised at how well he's physically been able to compete in the corners as well, digging out a lot of pucks. Sky's the limit for this kid. This is the superstar the Montreal Canadiens have been waiting for, and he has arrived.
Yes, he is leading all rookie scorers for the Montreal Canadiens. Mark, what a great first half this team has had, too.
Yeah, and he's not the only rookie in Montreal. Honorable mention to Oliver Kapanen, who leads the NHL rookie race for goal scoring at 15.
Yeah, bright future for Montreal as well. But we do have a couple guys at other positions. Who is next there, Jeff?
Well, on defense, we've got to talk about Matthew Schaefer. The Islanders, we were not high on this team, but this kid looks incredible.
Yeah, nobody saw this coming. He is by far the youngest player in the NHL, and he does not look like it. He looks like a veteran of many years out there, just dazzling with those puck skills and skating.
Yeah, he's a joy to watch. He's such a smooth skater. Reminds me of a young Cale Makar.
Yeah, it's amazing hearing his name up there with Bobby Orr for most points by a teenage defenseman.
It's also incredible to hear him even included in the conversation for Canada's Olympic team. And if injuries strike, who knows? He might be on that list of possible replacements.
Yeah, crazy. Rounding it out here, we have a goaltender. I think this is fun this year. We have a forward, a defenseman, and a goaltender. Jesper Wallstad of the Minnesota Wild has been excellent so far in this campaign.
He was very highly touted when they drafted him. Last season was kind of mixed.
Yeah.
This season, he showed up.
Yeah, goalies usually take a little longer to develop, but he has definitely developed, and he is coming at the time when the Minnesota needed a little bit of help because Gustafsson had a bit of a slow start. Now, he has found his game. He's getting the bulk of the starts again. That might hurt Wallsted's chances at the Calder, but still, he's been an impact performer.
And the mustache goes to Matthew Schaefer.
Yeah, I think he's the safest pick here. Dominant start to the year. Be interesting to see if he can keep it up because he is playing heavy minutes for the Islanders.
Yeah, and they're not the greatest team in the league either.
Well, let us shift away from that prepubescent fuzz and move on to a proper man stash. It's the Paul MacLean Award, of course, the legendary coach of the Ottawa Senators who sported one of the most beautiful mustaches I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the walrus.
Yeah, he looks great. So, top coaches in the NHL at the mid-season point. Who do we got?
Well, we have to talk about Jared Bednar.
Yes, he is the coach of the best team in the league. I know that sometimes these things are taken for granted, but we need to remember that at the start of the year, no one thought Colorado would be the top team in the NHL. He's played a big part of that.
Yeah, no team has scored more than the Colorado Avalanche, and nobody has allowed fewer goals.
See, that's the impressive part. We all knew Colorado could score, but they've really tightened up the defense, and I think the coaching staff deserves a lot of credit there.
For sure.
And how about John Cooper in Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I mean, as we said earlier, contending with all of those injuries to some of their top players, he's really got a lot out of this group, and they're looking like a contender again. What a coach he is.
Just the ability to keep the message fresh after being on this team for so many years and keeping them near the top of the league, I think, is quite a feat.
Okay, and at our third spot for the best coach of the year, I think we got to go Marty St. Louis. This is a very young team, and they performed very admirably, well above expectations, I think it's safe to say, and they have faced some adversity in this season so far.
Yeah, they had a big rash of injuries in November. Some of the guys starting to come back now. Caden Goalie, a big one. The goaltending, too, though, was really spotty for a while. He's kind of had to deal with this three-headed goaltending monster, and I think he's done well with that as well, keeping everybody active.
Yeah, and adding Jacob Fowler, another youngster that Martin St. Louis has worked well with.
Yeah, so many rookies in that lineup, but they're all progressing well, and St. Louis got to get a bulk of that credit, I think.
All right, guys, and the mustache goes to
John Cooper. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
The old hand has still got it.
That's right. Congratulations to Team Canada's bench boss.
Yeah, hopefully you can keep that up for that tournament. That'll be fun.
Now, it should be noted, this was probably the most difficult one to decide. I mean, we didn't even mention guys like Todd McClellan, Rick Tocchet having great seasons, bringing their teams to new heights. So, yeah, a lot of good coaches in the NHL right now.
All right, boys. Next up, we have the mustache for the best defenseman. Now, this is kind of our equivalent of the Norris Trophy, which, let's be honest, has kind of turned into the best offensive defenseman award. So that's really what we're talking about here. So who do we got?
Well, obviously, we have to begin with Cale Makar.
Yeah, I think he's not just the best defenseman in the world. He might be the best player in the world, and he's the driving force behind that Colorado Avalanche team, along, of course, with Nathan MacKinnon. But from the back end, he just creates so much.
I think followed up closely behind him is Quinn Hughes, newly arrived member of the Minnesota Wild. He brings his A game every night offensively. What a joy to watch he is as well.
Yeah, isn't it nice to see him on a competitive hockey team again, and just knowing that we're going to get to see him in the playoffs? And that's the one place he still needs to prove himself. So this could be the year.
Yeah, for sure. Who's our third guy there, Jeff?
Well, our third guy is just like last season, Zach Werenski, the Columbus Blue Jackets. This guy has been an offensive threat throughout the season.
Yeah, well over a point per game, and I'm just happy to see him stringing together a couple of healthy seasons after a really rough stretch. He's so much fun to watch and so scary to watch if you're cheering for the opposing team.
It'd be nice to see him in the playoffs as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, not betting on that one, but who knows? Stranger things have happened in a very tight Eastern Conference. It's still possible.
Yeah, for sure. So the mustache goes to
Cale Makar. No surprise there. Congratulations. This is not your first one, probably not your last one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the guy's on pace for 100 points. That's insane. But we got to throw an honorable mention there to Lane Hudson as well. He's a very exciting young defenseman. He may be in the conversation as early as next season.
Yeah, the guy is a point per game right now. Point per game defenseman. Crazy in his second year. Like, what's his ceiling going to be?
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, this is one of my favorite awards as a former goaltender. It's the best goalie mustache. Who are the candidates?
Well, one familiar name on this list is Andrei Vasilevsky. He still brings it at a high level. He's among the league leaders in save percentage, wins, and goals saved above expected. What a player.
Yeah, he's back. I mean, he had a couple down seasons, but I think him, along with the rest of the team, are looking pretty good. We also have to talk about Logan Thompson of the Washington Capitals.
Yes, the Capitals have had a slight regression this year. I mean, they're right still in the mix, but he will be on Team Canada.
Yeah, he might be our best hope for a gold medal, and NHL numbers look good, 917 save percentage. Again, like you said, Washington's good, but they're not that great. I think Thompson actually gets them a lot of wins they might not deserve.
Yeah, for sure. He has looked very good between the pipes for them. Who is our last candidate here for the mustache?
Well, that would be Ilya Sorokin from the New York Islanders.
He's the league leader actually in goals saved above expected. And I mean, playing on a pretty middling Islanders team, he's got them in playoff contention.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the best for wins, but his save percentage is looking dazzling.
Yeah, he's got a great save percentage in high danger zone too. And also recently became the franchise's leader in shutouts.
Wow.
I'm surprised by that. Yeah, you think about Billy Smith and Chico Resch and some of the goaltenders.
It's a more high-scoring era back then, though. So I guess, I mean, if he keeps this going, he's going to set a record that no one's going to touch.
And the mustache goes to
Ilya Sorokin. Yeah, good job. I believe it's his first mustache. Congratulations, Ilya.
It's funny because about a year ago at this time, a lot of people were talking about maybe Sorokin gets moved. He was having a down season. The Islanders were really struggling, but he's back in top form, and I don't think he's going anywhere.
Did you guys give any consideration to the Minnesota goalies?
Yeah, they've been excellent. I guess maybe the fact that they've split the starts fairly evenly hurts them a little bit. But yeah, they should definitely both be mentioned, as should the Colorado goalies, the Woods.
The Woods.
Especially Scott Wedgwood, who's had the bulk of the starts.
Yeah, Blackwood is injured now.
He is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think both those guys. More of a Jennings conversation. We don't have that award. Maybe something we could think about in the future, though.
Yes, and it is a bit of a shame about Shesterkin for the Rangers. He's hurt now.
Yeah, he was playing excellent on a putrid Rangers team. Maybe it's better that he just takes the rest of the year off.
Yeah. Tough times for Igor, but the talent is certainly there.
Okay, guys, let's get to the good stuff. It's time for the Rod Langway Award for the best defensive defenseman. A lot of names were on our list. This was actually the one we debated the longest, but we've got 3 candidates for you. Let me propose to you a name you might not expect. J.J. Moser from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes, he's filled in there so nicely, and they've needed him in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, with Hedman out and McDonough out, he's really had to fill some big shoes and has done so very admirably.
Yeah, playing over 22 minutes, anchoring one of the best PK units in the NHL, and really making that trade that they made last year to get rid of Sergachev look like a stroke of genius.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is a plus 35 at the midseason. That is an impressive number. And we also have the number 2 spot, a surprising pick as well on a surprising team. Matthias Samuelsson for the Buffalo Sabres has been outstanding on the back end. He's logging over 22 minutes per game, and he's a plus 18. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Not to mention the fact that he's anchoring the second best penalty kill unit in the NHL right now.
Yeah, he's playing over 2 minutes a game on the PK.
Does a little bit of everything. Sprinkles in about 2 blocks per game, over a hit per game. He's just a workhorse for them. And you know what? I remember when they first signed him to that long-term contract, I thought, who the hell is this guy? What is Buffalo doing? That contract's looking pretty sweet right now.
And for our third nominee, a familiar name who won this last year, Esa Lindell from the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, he's averaging close to 24 minutes a game, second in the NHL in penalty kill minutes on a pretty good penalty kill unit, and tons of blocks as well. He's just a hard guy to get around, just so smart out there.
Yeah, he makes gaining some traction in the O-zone very difficult for opposing forwards. Really tough guy to play against.
Well, let's get it to it here, guys. The mustache goes to Matthias Samuelsson.
Now, we do have some honorable mentions as well here. Who do we got?
Well, Travis Sanheim, I mean, he's one of the best shutdown defenders in the league, and he's going to be a big piece of Team Canada at the Olympics. Moritz Seider as well. What a great two-way defenseman, underrated defensively, physical presence out there. Jeff, I know you got some names you want to share with us.
Yeah, I really like what I'm calling the M&M.
M&M.
This is McNabb from Vegas.
Okay, yeah, he's a beast to play against.
From the Maple Leafs, and Josh Manson from the Avalanche. Yeah. And I love these guys because they're stay-at-home defensemen, but they bring that physical element as well.
Yeah, well, while we're doing the M's, not as physical, but Mike Matheson is playing super heavy minutes in Montreal. Sometimes for the PK, he stays on for the full 2 minutes. He's been such an important player on a young team.
And another guy who probably doesn't get enough credit is Jake Sanderson in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his team cannot buy a save, so maybe his numbers don't look quite as good, but he's a great young kid.
If only they could clone him.
Yeah, I mean, you think of him as more of an offensive guy, but yeah, he brings the defensive game as well. So that brings us to the end of the road here. This is the mustache for the most valuable player at the mid-season. Some really strong candidates this year. Where are we going to start off?
Well, I think we have to begin with Connor McDavid, who's doing Connor McDavid things this year.
Yeah, after a relatively slow start by his standards, he's come rocketing up the scoring race list as expected, and the Oilers are also climbing their division.
Yeah, it's amazing, McDavid. I mean, he just broke his record for a consecutive point streak in a season. He's at 19 games now as of the time of recording, and it's just incredible, the points he puts up, the talent, the speed, all that stuff. But we all know this already.
Let's move on to another Mac, and Nathan McKinnon. Just a terrifying force out there, and he is the driving force, one of the two driving forces behind Colorado's outstanding season.
He looks like a man on a mission.
Yeah, he's insane. Just the stride as he gallops down the ice, looking to terrify opposing defenders and goaltenders. Again, we know this already, but man, is it ever impressive to watch.
And hockey fans are in for a real treat watching those two battle it out for the Art Ross Trophy.
You know, there's another Mac attack we haven't talked about yet, and that's the Macklin Celebrini attack. What an electrifying force he has been out there in his sophomore season. Sky's the limit for this kid. You know, there are two teams. There's the San Jose Sharks with Macklin Celebrini and, well, the San Jose Sharks without him. But when he's on the ice, they look like an elite team, and he's an elite scorer. He's just getting started. The kid's only 19 years old.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody remind me of Sidney Crosby like this kid. Man, and he's got his own point streak going as well. He does it all. You know, he's so smart. He's so quick. His skating's so good. His vision is amazing. I don't think anybody expected him to reach this level when he was first drafted.
Yeah, he's got such a motor.
Yeah, he's always moving around out there. Wow. What a kid. So the mustache, everybody, goes to
Macklin Celebrini,
who will be celebrating.
Yeah, I mean, this was a tough pick. We actually debated this for a while, But man, in a sophomore season, for a kid to be carrying his team into the playoffs like this, it's so impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're giving it to young.
Yeah, we really leaned into the most valuable parts because I think he really, without him, San Jose would not be anywhere close to a playoff spot right now.
So happy that Team Canada decided to include him.
That was a no-brainer. He gave them no choice.
Yeah, I mean, I loved that Sid requested to play alongside him in the World Championships. That's some high praise right there.
Alrighty, what's up next?
Well, it's the mailbag, of course.
Sorry. What was the question? I would totally veto that. What kind of league are we running here anyways? I'll have to consult the rule book on that one. Remember the trade guidelines. Can we get some friendly questions here? You guys have got to dress your players.
This is everybody's favorite segment. This is Ask the Commish. Remember, you can get your questions in last minute. Send us an email at rodlangwayfanclub@gmail.com. You can tweet us, Facebook us, Telegram us, whatever you like.
So what do we have first?
Well, we've gotten a few questions, and we get a lot of these about whether we want to redo our cup picks or not. And this is usually the time of the year that we do reconsider our cup picks. So, Jeff, I know that traditionally you've had to redo your pick because you've destroyed many teams' aspirations over the years. Looks like the curse might be over, though. Dallas is in decent shape. Do you want to stick with them?
I am going to stick with them. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, I picked the Vegas Golden Knights, as I mentioned earlier. I am going to stick with them.
Well, I too will be a stubborn old man. I'm going to stick with the Edmonton Oilers. Third year in a row I've picked them. Maybe this is their year.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, Colorado's still on the table. Nobody took him, guys.
Yeah. Okay, well, why don't we move along here? We have an email here from Freddie Hubbard. Freddie asks, are there any coaches on the hot seat the midseason point of the NHL season?
Thanks for the question, Freddie. I have to say Sheldon Keefe from the New Jersey Devils. What has happened to this team?
Yeah, well, obviously losing Jack Hughes early in the year was really hard, but he's back and they still stink. So yeah, something's going to have to change in New Jersey. Oftentimes that means the coach is sent packing, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Keefe being the first guy out the door.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we also have to talk about the Winnipeg Jets.
Yes, John, what has happened to your team?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin. It's been rough, though. I mean, they just came out of an 11-game losing streak. They were last place in the NHL, and this comes after winning the President's Trophy last year. A lot of people surprised, a lot of people scratching their heads. In these situations, though, the coach is often the first person to go. So it wouldn't surprise me if they don't turn it around and quick.
Yeah, sometimes it looks like that team has quit on Scott Arniel.
Yeah. I'm not even sure. However, if we're talking about the Jets, can I make a quick apology? I would like to apologize to Logan Stanley. I mentioned I would never like to see him in a Jets uniform again, but Stanimal is back and he's looking like a beast back there. He's our most improved player this year. So, Logan Stanley, your family, anyone associated with you, my apologies.
Well, while we're making apologies, I think I need to apologize to the Detroit Red Wings.
Oh, you're going to eat your words.
Yeah, I know I didn't want to eat my words in the last show, but I think I'm going to take a big old bite out of my words this time because Detroit is leading the division and they're looking really good. And maybe the Yzer plan wasn't such a mess after all. I still don't love it in the long term. I'm going to preface it with that. But they're having a great year. Full credit, Todd McClellan, Dylan Larkin playing outstanding hockey, Moritz Seider emerging as a, maybe even a Norris candidate at some point. I think they could actually challenge for division crown.
Yeah. Patty Kane still got game too.
Yeah, 500 goals.
Yeah, good for him.
Another coach on the hot seat has to be Travis Green of the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, it's an absolute travesty in Ottawa. And I don't know, I think it's an absolute mess. And this is despite the team being relatively healthy. So I'm not really sure where the improvement's going to come from.
Yes. Well, they say bad goaltending can sink a coach. And man, Ottawa has had some rough goaltending. Allmark has been atrocious back there. And now he's stepped away. There's been some controversy.
MacLean looked really promising in his rookie season, but he has not been able to follow that up.
Yeah, they've actually brought in veteran James Reimer to shore things up. That's a sign of how badly things are going in the nation's capital.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if Travis Green is shown the door in coming weeks.
Yeah, Green usually disappears in winter.
Okay, what's up next here?
Okay, we got one here from Winging It 67 on Facebook, and a very simple one. Is Buffalo for real?
Oh, the Buffalo Sabres. Wow, what a story we've been waiting forever.
That 10-game win streak was so fun.
Yeah. You got to feel happy for them.
I really love that decor of Dahlin, Byram, Power, and Samuelson.
Well, you mean the reigning Rod Langway Award winner, of course.
Yeah, those 4. That's solid.
Yeah, and they still have room to grow. That's the exciting thing if you're a Buffalo fan. I mean, 2 first-round picks there, Byram, no slouch, and yeah, just a lot of excitement there.
And who's getting it done for them offensively?
Well, I think a really big catalyst for the turnaround was the return of Josh Norris, who, of course, he's dealt with so many injuries over the years. We were hard on them for that trade that they made when they gave up Dylan Cousins. But actually, a healthy Josh Norris has been outperforming Dylan Cousins. And if he can stay healthy, knock on wood, this could be a Buffalo playoff berth maybe in the making.
Yeah.
I was really happy to see Tage Thompson being named to the American team. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, and I mean, Alex Tuck is playing for a contract as well. He's been playing pretty well. And, I think we have to talk about the special teams. You mentioned the penalty kill. The power play has not been bad at all. Goaltending kind of done by committee. So I think, all the pieces are there for, like you said, Mark, a potential playoff berth.
Yeah, veteran coach Lindy Ruff leading them back to the playoffs. Wouldn't that be a story? Now, I'm not saying they're getting in, but the fact they're even in the conversation at this point in the season is a big win for this franchise.
Yeah, I'm cheering for them.
Me too. It's been a rough ride in Buffalo, so it'd be nice to have some good news.
Don't screw it up, Sabres.
All right, John, I think we have time for one more letter.
Yeah, I think we got to include this one. This is from our old friend Guy Zamboni. We got this missive in French. Use the old Google Translate. And here's what I got. It says, what does the Rod Langway Fan Club podcast think about the ice in Italy for the upcoming Olympic Games?
Yeah, this has been a bit of a disaster. Are they going to have this thing ready in time?
This is not the first time we've had these kinds of concerns going into an Olympic tournament. It's shocking, but I guess not shocking based on history. I think they'll probably figure it out in the end. The women will actually be playing their tournament first, so there might be some little kinks to iron out. Hopefully that goes smoothly so that they don't have to scramble for another venue for the men. I think it'll be fine, but definitely not what you want to hear.
And it sounds like the dimensions might be a little shorter.
Yeah, it's going to be smaller ice. Usually these international tournaments are played on the big ice, which I like. These guys are so big and so fast. So it's nice to see a little more space out there. This is actually going to be a little smaller. I'm kind of disappointed about that.
This might also explain why, especially Canada and the United States, they really leaned into size and grit for their teams. You think about a guy like Tom Wilson on a smaller rink, you're not going to be able to escape that charging bull.
Look out.
Yeah,
no kidding. I just hope they get this sorted out. I mean, this is the premier tournament. We've been waiting for so long, and if it's spoiled because of some bad ice, that would suck, Guy Zamboni. And I know you care about the ice.
Maybe they could bring him in as a consultant.
Maybe they should. Maybe they should.
Well, don't worry. Those of you hungry for Olympic hockey, we will return in less than a month to break down every single roster and each country's chances at bringing home Olympic gold.
I'm pumped.
Me too. It's gonna be fantastic. The Rod Langway Fan Club podcast has waited for 10 years for this. It's been a long wait, but man, are we excited.
Yes. So guys, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you had yourselves a time.
Well, I hope you had yourselves a time. Hope you had yourselves a time. Hope you had time. Yourselves a time. Hope you had yourselves a time. Well, I hope you had yourselves a time. Hope you had the time. Hope you had yourselves a time. Well, I hope you had